Good afternoon. It's Sunday, December 3rd. An inspirational mild spell heads into the Midwest this week. Unseasonably warm temperatures by Wednesday and Thursday. High temperature 70 degrees over portions of Nebraska and South Dakota. There could be an isolated spot of 70 degrees from Kansas to that area. Widespread mid-60s. Rapid City, South Dakota, high temperature. National Weather Service tells us 66 degrees Wednesday afternoon. These widespread 60s move east. They turn into the 50s as they usually do. We will likely see temperatures in the 50s here in the Chicago area. This is a warm spell that we've spoken about for months already. There's been a tendency for the months of November and December, especially November, but December as well. In recent years, we've had a tendency for there to be an extended spell of mild temperatures in the month of December at some point here in the Midwest. This could very well be it. This is the mild spell that we are getting. Right before the mild spell, an Alberta Clipper brings snow into the Midwest. We have snow falling today over portions of the upper Midwest. That another round of snow comes in Monday night. And at this point, the storm track is far enough south that Chicago could very well be included. This is about an inch of snow. That's about it. The inch might fall down all at once, says the National Weather Service, accumulating an inch an hour. So I guess you're down to a 1 hour system. But, that would be a little bit hazardous driving if it all comes down at once. But we'll see what happens with that. It is an Alberta Clipper. It's a moisture-starved system moving quickly. So it might be an aggressive system, but it doesn't have much moisture, and it's moving quickly. Plus, the snow-to-water ratio, on average, is expected to be 8-1 here in the Chicago area, 10-1 in the Kenosha, Wisconsin area. So we're not looking at anything too bad. And following that snow, the warm air starts to move into North Dakota, South Dakota, 60s even in North Dakota by Wednesday. Not just Rapid City, South Dakota. There will be 60s in North Dakota as well. The southwest portions of North Dakota could very well see 60s for Wednesday afternoon. This warm air, as we mentioned, moves east. Now, here is the big question. Here's the big question. What will be happening after this warm air? When that warm air moves east, so I'll tell you the part that's not a question. A cold front will be moving through. That's what always happens. So that is what's going to be happening. The question is, how cold will that air be? And the other question is, so storm systems develop, they love contrasted temperatures. They tend to move along the boundary of warmer air and colder air. So we will likely see a storm system develop right along that front. And that storm system might even intensify the front itself. And that's probably what's going to end up happening. So you have the storm system, it moves further east. The question is, will the Midwest be impacted by the storm system? There's several little, at least miniature low pressure systems that will be around the area over the weekend. One will likely be affecting the upper Midwest, bringing some snow. The other one further down south. And then the East Coast might have a separate one, which is connected to the ones here in the Midwest. The question that we've been dealing with, meteorologists have been dealing with, is what type of phasing will there be? Will the northern jet collide with the southern jet? If the northern jet collides with the southern jet, we get a major snowstorm here in the Midwest. You get a major snowstorm for the East Coast as well. If there is that collision, which is they refer to as phasing, that means you have the Arctic air or the equivalent of Arctic air colliding with the copious Gulf moisture, and you have a major storm defined as 6 inches of snow or more, but it's usually a lot more than that, especially in recent years. So if there's no phasing, then we're not going to see such an intense storm. That's number one. Also, number two is the snow would remain not only lighter, but it would remain further up north. It would just be involved with the northern jet. The question is, will there be phasing? So the computer models are showing different things. So says the Rapid City, South Dakota National Weather Service, because it's an El Nino year and it's a strong El Nino, there likely will be no phasing. The northern jet will remain separate from the southern jet. So we have solved the mystery using the strong El Nino, using climatology, using the weather pattern that develops, it's known to develop from El Nino, that has created a confidence in what will be happening, a confidence where computer models have failed to produce. So with that knowledge, we would have to put questions on some of the things that were said in the episode yesterday. Nonetheless, it's still worth, for a true weather enthusiast, it's still worth it to keep your eyes on the various systems that will be developing over the weekend into the early part of next week. But it does look like, due to El Nino, the phasing will remain split, which will greatly reduce any snow that does occur. I wish everyone a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and enjoy the really warm weather. 60s, maybe even some 70s for the plains, and 50s closer to our area here in Chicago for the mid to latter part of this week. Followed by a mystery. Cooler temperatures, but a mystery. Have a great day.